Talk Sports here on the AM Show. My name is Benedict O. So always a pleasure joining you on this platform. We go straight into the stories, and the Ghana Football Association Normalization Committee, for the first time since their inauguration, met the media yesterday to brief the public on the extent of work done so far. My colleague Sevin Saki was there and has come through with this report.
The committee tasked by FIFA to reform Ghana football has been in office for a month and obviously have done a lot. Meetings have been held with key stakeholders of the game, and also there's been a major renovation at the Ghana Football Association Secretariat. At the presser held at Alisa Hotel, President of the Normalization Committee, Dr. Kofi Amoah, outlined some of the work done so far.
We've met with Galka. Everybody wants to start playing football again. We don't think the players should be punished unnecessarily for too long. Let me say this. What we are thinking is a novel competition. And until we raise the money that we think we need to make it do, I don't want to talk too much about it. But the bottom line is that if you look at the cost that a club has to incur to participate in a league, and if the prize monies laid in there really fall short to the cost of participation, we are impoverishing our clubs. And therefore we have to start thinking of what magnets can we think of to bring into football. Number one, to increase attendance at the venue places where the matches are being played, to improve viewership on television, to practice the game in a way that makes it interesting for a potential sponsor.
A member on the committee, Na Odofole Norte, spoke about how challenging their job is.
You're right. Very challenging. Very challenging, because we find ourselves literally swimming against the tide. I'm sorry to say this. We are working in an environment where the press is very negative and not encouraging of our enterprise. In fact, if I am to believe what I hear on radio, we've already written us off. Well, as far as we are concerned, we have even failed.
Vice President of the committee, Mrs. Lucy Quist, also addressed the recent issue of Ghana's Botched Africa Cup of Nations qualifier with Sierra Leone.
Ghana was ready, but Sierra Leone was not allowed. We can't make Sierra Leone play a match. Yeah. The bottom line is that we have to behave professionally. Equally, we write to them and we give them a chance to respond and not speculate. Let them answer, and then when they give us the answer, we'll let you know. In the first instance, we engaged and extended, and now we have to discuss the feasibility of it.
Something interesting happened at the presser yesterday. A member of the Normalization Committee, Mr. Diadontain, reacted furiously after a journalist questioned why we were asked to clap for him when he walked in late at the press conference. A furious Mr. Adontain interrupted him, replying, "You don't know what you are talking about, and I'm not interested in this stupidity." They later apologized to each other after being advised to do so by President of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, Kwabena Yeboah.
All right, so that was what happened at the Normalization Committee first media interaction yesterday at the Alisa Hotel. We definitely will bring you more on that in our subsequent sports bulletins. But let's switch and do something different. Now, Haruna Tahiru has won his first battle at the World Arm Wrestling Championship in Antaya. Tahiru, who placed 6th overall in the plus 90 kg men disabled left arm, lost to heavyweight champion from Russia, and then came back to beat Indian champion and lost to European champion from Germany. Tahiru, who is the only African in the 18-men category, will battle the right arm for the same today. Let's go live to Turkey and speak to President of the Ghana Arm Wrestling Association, Mr. Charles Sesibe. Sir, thanks so much for joining me this morning here on the AM show. First of all, let's talk about Haruna Tahiru. I mean, yeah, he won. Now he go into a different game today. That's the left arm. What should we expect from him?
Well, I think that I was happy he was able to win a match. It doesn't come easy, and in arm wrestling, if you lose your first match, you're able to battle in the loser's battle and then come to meet the eventual winner and become the winner. But unfortunately, after the fourth game, he couldn't, continue. But after the left arm yesterday, he was ranked 6th in the world as far as his weight category is concerned. Now, he's weaker in the left because he's challenged on the left leg. So we're hoping that this morning, as he goes into the right arm battle, he'll be able to do better than what he did yesterday.
So away from that, I know you also went there for the World Arm Wrestling Congress. What were the key things discussed?
Well, it has to do with a lot of proposals that came from Asia and then development in Africa. For us in Africa, we have decided to zone Africa into 5 because of the way our mappings and the geographical location is. It makes it difficult for people to travel from southern or eastern or western Africa into North or, southern Africa. Remember when we hosted Africa Championships, the South Africans were like, it's easier or cheaper to go to Europe than to come to Ghana. So we want to create more competition. That's why in the very near future, we are going to zone Accra, just as it is in football. We'll do the waffle for arm wrestling. So it is something that has come up. We have also gone into some partnership agreement with Lebanon, and they are going to provide us, with some equipment. Coming here is an experience, even for the players. For us, we came to network and to see whether we would get people to come and support the development of the sport in Ghana. But for the players, it is an experience, and we feel that maybe sometime next year, we'll be able to bring the medals back home. Today, we are registering 3 more athletes after Tahiru does the right arm battle. We register Alberta Ampuma, Edward Asamoah from Ghana Immigration Service, and then Derek Dukwache from Ashanti region. We hope that they would also have that experience and then see what we can do. But we are aggressively developing arm wrestling. The world president, that of Africa, and everybody that came feels that Ghana is growing and developing very fast, especially encouraging women to play the sport.
Kudos to you for the good work you're doing. But what is that key thing we are taking away from the Congress and our participation in the World Arm Wrestling Championship?
Well, the key thing is that we have come to learn a lot. We have come to network. We have learned a lot of techniques. Tahiru, for instance, he lost his first battle because the Russian pulled his arm off the table, and it was a foul against him. The third, so he came back to win the second. The third one, for instance, the guy, dilly-dallied and make sure Tahiru was fouled. If it comes to strength, we are naturally strong, but the technique and the skill. So we are learning a lot. At least we've been able to get a 29 world champion from Canada who is ready to come to Ghana and assist us at our own cost. But, if we want to develop the sport, we must get experts to come and help us push it up.
Mr. Sesbe, thanks so much for your time this morning here on the AM Show. Definitely, when you come back here, we'll interact with you more on the Arm Wrestling Federation, what happened or what's happening in Turkey. Well, we have to come back home and talk about club football. And former Kumasi Asante Kotoko coach Michael Osei has backed new coach of the club, that's Siki Akono, to be successful. And Akono has started his reign at the club on a good note following last Sunday's 3-1 win over Burkina Faso side that saved Africa Child FC in a friendly. Coach Osei, who said as an assistant before becoming the head coach of the club, I believe Siki Akono has what it takes to do the job.
For Siki, appointment is a perfect one because Siki have experience right now. Also in football, he have played to the high level, and then I think Kotoko needed such a coach at the moment. So for me personally, I think it's a right choice.
They've set a target for him to win the Africa CAF Confederation Cup or CAF Champions League. Is that realistic at this point?
Oh, I think it's very, very tough because when you see previously, Kotoko have not done well in the previous African competition games. So for me personally, I think it's very tough. But there's nothing you cannot achieve in this world. So you will need support from the management. You will need support from the supporters. Everybody have to support because it's not only him is going to do the job. All of them have to play part of this achievement. So it will be very difficult. They will need a lot of quality players. They have to invest a lot. They have to pay the players good salaries and to motivate them. It's a lot of hard work, but it's achievable. But it's very, very difficult. It's very, very.
All right, from football, let's talk boxing. And new measures have been put in place to boost safety at the Bukom Boxing Arena amid recent violence. My colleague and our editor, Nathan Lato, has more in the following report.
Boxing promoters who wish to use the Bukom Boxing Arena for events from hence will have to comply with new stringent conditions. These new regulations have been agreed on at a meeting between the Ghana Police Service, the Trust Sports Emporium who manage the facility, the Ghana Boxing Authority, and E&J Promotions who put together last Saturday's abortive WBO Africa title fight at the venue. The Bukom Boxing Arena has since been classified a crime scene by the police, who are expected to wrap up investigations on the matter soon. Violence broke at the arena hall last Saturday after referee Adon Betin of Benin abruptly stopped the fight after the champion Isaac Saki was knocked down by his challenger Wasiru Mohammed. The violence led to the destruction of property and some injuries. It later emerged that only 12 policemen were on duty and a handful in the hall when the incident happened. Meanwhile, Asamoah Gyan's Baby Jet Promotions is readying to host the next fight night at the Bukom Boxing Arena on Saturday. The Trust Sports Emporium will enforce this new regulation, with Baby Jet Promotions who are organizing the WBO Africa Lightweight Championship between Emmanuel Tego and Namibia's Paulus Moses. Joy Sports understands that the promoters will have to spend a lot more on sophisticated security arrangements for the event and others.
All right, so that was Nathan Lato's report. And on that note, we end sports this morning here on the AM Show. I'm Benedict Osu. Always thanks for joining me. We are back at 2 Sports Today, our major sports bulletin here for more sports. Until then, continue watching the program. After this short commercial break, the program will continue.